Hi everyone, it's Sue. Welcome back. I hope you're all doing really well. So I was in Spotlight the other day. I went in for, what did I go in for? I was looking for a specific punch. Couldn't find it, but I thought I'd have a little bit of a browse while I was there, and I found this Sizzix shrink plastic. Do you remember as kids? Well, you might not be as old as me, but we used to eat our packet of chips and stick them in the oven and shrink them down. I got so excited when I saw this, and it was on special, 30% off, so I thought I'm going to grab some and just have a play. So you can see there's a shiny side and a flat side. That is the side that you have to stamp on, is the flat side, or the matte side, I guess you would say. So I'm got some supplies. I've got some VersaFine Clear stamp pads in black and brown, some stamps, and I am just going to have a play. I am so excited. This has just taken me right back to my childhood. So I've got a whole heap of different Tim Holtz stamps here that I'm going to play around with. I haven't used this before. Apparently you can just use it with a heat gun. I've only ever shrunk anything in the oven, so I was excited even more so for the fact that I didn't have to get up and down and fiddle around with the oven. So I'm just going to try this big number stamp first and see how that turns out. I'm going to use just the, I think I used the brown Fallen Leaves VersaFine Clear ink pad there. I'm inking it up pretty well. As I said, I have not used this before, so I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing. I'm just going to pop it down. The only problem with this is that the VersaFine Clear doesn't dry quickly, so I'm sort of wondering whether I should just leave it to dry, but I'm too impatient, so I'm going to cut it out and then I'm going to shrink it and see what happens. Because the 5 was quite detailed and not easy to hold on to cut out, and it was still wet, I decided to cut out another piece, stamp and cut out another piece. This is another Tim Holtz stamp, and I'm going to punch the hole with my crocodile before I shrink it, because I figure that size, you know, it all shrinks to size, if you know what I mean. So I'm just doing that, and then I'm going to have my first attempt at shrinking. So I'm using an acrylic block just to pop it on, and I've got a pokey tool here that I'm going to just sort of hold the image down, because as it shrinks it shrivels up, but it will, if you keep heating it, it actually shrivels up into a ball type thing, and then it will actually undo itself. Anyway, watch and see what I mean. It's hard to explain. How exciting is that? It's just amazing. I don't know how, I mean, how does it work? How does it know? It must have muscle memory or something. I don't know. It goes back to its own thing, own size, own shape. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm so excited. Oh dear, look at this. Look. Oh, I am squealing with delight right about now. So some of these are quite crooked, you know, like they don't sort of, they're not perfect, basically, but they are just so much fun, and they'll be great on hanging on tags or the side of a page or something like that. So I get better as I go along, so I'm a little bit unsure how far to push the envelope with this. So as you can see though, and just don't touch it while it's with your fingers, while you've just heated it, because it's hot and it actually burns your skin. Don't ask me how I know that. So I'm just sort of pushing it down with the flat end of that pokey tool, just to sort of maybe try and make it a little bit more perfect. But you know what? I love it. It is so cute. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? Yep, it's hot. Told you I knew. So that's what it looks like. And yeah, it just sort of goes back to its own shape. It's a little bit bumpy on the back, but you know what? I love it. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp some more and see what I can come up with. So the 5 was still quite wet, but I decided I couldn't wait. I wanted to see what this looked like. And I'm deciding whether to put a hole in it to use it as a charm or not. So I put a hole in it, excuse me, and then same thing, I'm just going to heat it up, and you watch how cute this becomes. It's very wet, still very wet, but the good thing is that the heat tool dries the ink as it shrinks it. Here we go. I could watch this all day. I don't know about you guys, maybe I'm just easily pleased. It just amazes me how it actually works, you know, and the fact that it shrivels right up and then it just goes back to the shape it's meant to be. So because this is quite fine, sometimes you might have to just sort of push some of the shape back in on itself, you know, like the curved motion down the bottom of the 5 might need to be straightened out a little bit. But how cute is this? So I'm just sort of fiddling around with it just to sort of try and get it back into proper shape. Maybe overheating it here. And I just love it. I just think it's so cute. Check that out. Is that not the cutest little charm you've seen? I love it. All right, so there's 2 that I've practiced on. So I'm going to grab the shrink plastic, the sheet of shrink plastic that I was using, and I'm actually going to try with some distress ink on it just to give it a bit of a vintage vibe on the background. So instead of it being a white background, it'll be an inked background. So I'm just going to do a little section and then stamp something on it, heat it up, and just see if that actually turns out. I don't want to ink the whole thing just in case I end up wasting the sheet, but I'm just doing really roughly. I don't care what it particularly looks like, but that's what I'm doing here. Because I used the oxide ink, I've actually splashed a little bit of water on it as well, and I'm just going to use my paper towel roll here just to wipe up some of that water, and just so it gives it a little bit of a motley effect as well. And it worked. It turned out how I wanted it to. So now I'm just going to grab some stamps and see what we can do. So just grabbed a couple of the Tim Holtz ticket stamps, stamped them on, and I will punch holes in them first of all as well before I shrink them up, and let's see how they turn out. Oh, I tell you, this doesn't get old. Look at that. James had come in at this stage and we were both like squealing and carrying on like little kids. It was just amazing. It took us both back to our childhood. Oh, this is just so much fun. Now, tell me that's not the cutest thing. Look at them. And the ink background worked really well. So the one on the left there's a little bit crooked. I'm not sure what I did then. I don't think I heated it enough to go back to its original shape. But oh, look, I'm into it now. I'm going to speed it up here and just stamp and shrink. Okay, what about that circle? Oh, yep, I love it too. So the other packet it's actually a copper, I think it is, and I'm going to just get a sheet of that and just see what that looks like as well. So it's got a shiny, like a glittery effect through it. But I thought, well, it could, still look a little bit vintage. Same thing, it has a matte side and a shiny side, so you always stamp onto the matte side. So I'm just going to have a play around with it and see what they turn out like. So that gold turned out beautifully as well. And I got a little bit confident and I stamped the whole sheet, and I'm going to carefully cut them out and try not to smudge them all, but these I think will look really great, and I used some different colours as well. So I'm going to cut them all out and shrink them and see what we get. Okay, so I'm going to show you everything that I ended up doing. I didn't bore you with the details. Now, two things I've learned along the way. Use stays on ink. It just works a lot better and less smudging. And these worked great, but you've just got to be more careful with them. But yeah, use stays on. That's one thing that I've worked out. Another thing that James actually suggested was because they sort of buckled up a little bit, you can see how gorgeous is that. So it's not quite perfect shape, but it's a lot flatter than when I first started doing them. So use your acrylic block to put your original piece on to heat up. And then once you've heated it, you can then, you heat it using your pokey tool to hold it down, then put a bit of wax-proof paper on top, press it with another acrylic block, and that will flatten your piece out. So that turned out beautifully. So now I'm just going to show you all the pieces. I ended up using up the whole sheet. Now this is a total of 3 sheets, I think, and it turns out really cheap. All these charms, and it was cost about $5 if you work out the sheets, price of the sheets. Those numbers, I didn't put holes in them, all of them. I thought you can punch holes in them after they've been heated, but I thought I'd just use them even to put onto tags, pockets, that sort of thing. So you can see the skinnier pieces there that are quite crooked. I found that they didn't go back to shape perfectly, and those leaves that I've done, I purposely made them so that they had shape to them. I just stopped shrinking them when they got to the shape that I wanted. Aren't these just amazing? I love them all, absolutely love them all. I don't know whether you want to see them all, but I just think they are so much fun. So I've got some beautiful charms to put onto tags, etc. now. So there you have it, guys. I have had hours of fun. It did take a little while to do them all, but look at the amount that I've made. I'll just show you a tag that I've put one of the dangles, 2 of the dangles onto. So I used the gold piece and one of the round ones. Aren't they just beautiful? All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time, I hope you get a little bit of creative time in. See you soon. Bye-bye.